So it is now the year 2025, and what that means is we are now in the year where Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was set in. If you played the original Black Ops 2, that probably makes you feel quite old, unless you're someone who's younger who just recently played it in recent years. If you are someone who's younger who have never played Black Ops 2, highly recommend it. That game is absolutely insane. I think it's still one of the greatest Call of Duty games of all time. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to get the experience of, the multiplayer when it was in its prime. You can experience the multiplayer, but now we've come such a long way with advancements in kind of technology and different things like that. And obviously the controllers and the dead zones, like so many things have changed over the years that, the experience is going to be a little bit different, obviously, of course. But nonetheless, Black Ops 2 is definitely worth playing, at least the campaign. Play through some of the zombies, man. It's good. And maybe play some of the multiplayer, if the servers, if you can find some population on the servers. Hopefully you can. But I want to talk about Black Ops 2 in this video because I think it is such an interesting concept that back in what was it, 2012? Yeah, so it came out November 12th, 2012, which was 13 years ago technically, because we're in 2025, but it came out in November, so realistically it's 12 years, right? Because we're only like 2 months away. Yeah, 2 months out from November 12th, rather. Not even yet, like a month, well, soon, like a month and a half roughly, right? About 6 or 7 weeks since it's been November 12th. So we're like 12 years out since the release of Black Ops 2. And in 12 years, back then, I remember one of the biggest things everybody was saying, which is kind of funny in hindsight because, we've had games like Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and all these other kind of more sort of futuristic settings since then. But back then, I remember I went, if I remember correctly, I went to the midnight launch for Black Ops 2, and everybody was saying the same thing. Which was like, man, this game is so futuristic. Now, some people were just saying that like just a statement. They didn't really care. It wasn't necessarily a negative statement, but there were some people out there. That a lot of people at the time were negative about it. They were saying, oh, this is so futuristic, man. Like, this is so stupid. Like, we got drones and stuff. That was one of the things I remember people saying the most, was talking about the drones, because you got to understand, 12 years ago, we didn't really have, drones wasn't really common. It wasn't publicly common at all. I mean, there were no drones that you could buy and things like that. That more in the recent years, right? In the last, 5+ years, that's been kind of more common, maybe 7 years. Now it feels like every other person has a drone. Maybe not that common, but, a lot of people have drones, right? They're not, obviously weaponized drones. Maybe, obviously the military, I'm sure, probably has something like that. But in terms of civilian and kind of public, we have a lot of drones, and people at the time were like, drones seem so futuristic. It seems so crazy. Now it's just 12 years ago. If this much has changed in 12 years, makes you wonder what can change in the next 12 years. It's kind of scary when you think about it. But, yeah, so things like that. Now, originally with this kind of video, I wanted to do something more along the lines of going through all the technology that was in Black Ops 2 and try to figure out what we have today and what we don't have. That kind of video is a little bit tricky, to be honest, because there's a lot of tech in the game that is just hard to kind of sift through. And there's a lot of stuff that, I don't necessarily, you got to do some pretty deep digging to find out if we do have some of these things, because not all these things are going to be common, public knowledge, right? For example, some of the technology that, we have in Black Ops 2 is specifically for the military. We don't know everything that our militaries have, technologically speaking, necessarily. Now, it's always assumed that the military and the government are usually maybe like 10 years advanced in the technology than we, the public, are aware of. Now, is that true? I don't know. That's typically what I've, heard said. Again, I don't know if that holds weight. Nonetheless, my friends, what is true is that we do not have invisibility suits. Now, kind of. I think they're working on some technology that, some kind of reflexive technology that maybe is can kind of mimic some sort of invisibility suit, but it's not quite there just yet, and whatnot. I think the biggest thing that, like I said, comes to mind is the drones, right? The drones is the biggest thing that it seems to be that, everybody was saying was so advanced. I mean, look, maybe if you guys lived back then, if you played the game back then, and if you remember things differently, correct me if I'm wrong. I just know from like my circle of friends and people that you know, their friends and friends of friends, and just people that you would hear kind of talking about the game back then and whatnot, you know, on the internet, whatever. People back then, that was one of the key talking points of it being so futuristic, were the drones. And lo and behold, we have people flying drones all over the place now. Like I said, they're not weaponized, thankfully. But yeah, in terms of Black Ops 2, I do want to talk about that game. I wanted to, you know, listen, I'll be honest. This video is just an excuse for me to talk about Black Ops 2 because I love that game so much. Again, I think it's, you know, I think the two, maybe three big Call of Duty games that people kind of argue what is, you know, which one is their favorite is typically the original Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2. Sometimes Black Ops 1 is also thrown in there as well. And I think those are kind of the big three. You know, some people will say COD 4, but let's be honest. I mean, COD 4, you know, it was good, but it was very basic, bare bones. And Modern Warfare 2 is really where things kind of, you know, started to shine. It was kind of like COD 4 on steroids, right? It took the skeleton of what COD 4 was and kind of blew it up into what became Modern Warfare 2. But Black Ops 2, I don't know, for me, it just hit differently. It was just so good. Treyarch was in their prime. They, of course, had released World at War. They'd released then Black Ops 1, which was a massive hit with people. I remember getting Black Ops 1 for the first time. My parents went grocery shopping. They came back. My mom told me to go look in her purse. And boom, they bought me Black Ops 2. It was just sitting there. It was so great. My parents were just so awesome to me. Not because they bought me Black Ops 2. I just meant, generally speaking, they've always been, you know, I've been very blessed, and I you know, definitely adore and appreciate my parents greatly. But that's just one memory that is, you know, I cherish, because it was just this surprise gift, kind of, I guess maybe like an early Christmas gift, you could say. And I had a blast with Black Ops 1. And then Black Ops 2, I became a huge fan of Treyarch and the Black Ops series right from that point in time. World of War was actually weirdly the only Call of Duty I didn't play at launch, besides COD 1, 2, and 3, of course. And maybe COD 4. I think I jumped on COD 4 maybe a little bit late. I was a huge Halo 3 nerd back then. So, but I played a ton of COD 4. I just don't remember when I jumped in on it. But anyways, Black Ops 2 came out and everybody was stoked, right? They were hyped. And it did so much. I mean, there's so many things about Black Ops 2 that was so great. I mean, they took the zombies formula that they had started to kind of expand on in Black Ops 1, right after introducing it for the first time as a kind of a secret Easter egg mode in World of War. And this is where, like, I think it started to really shine as a game mode, where you had just so much with Black Ops 2 zombies that was so good. I love the maps. People hate Transit. I love Transit. Transit's a great map. It's so fun and unique. Now, you know, it's maybe, yeah, a little bit tedious running from point A to point B if you miss the bus. But it's unique, and I loved it. I loved it for that. And then, you know, Die Rise, I think was the first DLC map. We had Buried, we had Mob of the Dead, and then we had Origins, which closed off, you know, the DLC. I mean, it was great. The multiplayer maps as well in this game were fantastic, by the way, especially the DLC maps. I mean, they were just really well thought out. You know, the gameplay, I mean, it just had really good gameplay, really good gunplay. It was fun. You know, it wasn't like what we have nowadays, skill-based matchmaking, just kind of cranked to 20 and everybody trying to be the next COD Pro or whatever. Like, it was just genuine fun all around. From, like I said, from the zombies and the multiplayer, and then the campaign, it just kind of built off what the first campaign was. It was just incredible. It was just an incredible campaign that kind of had that mystery and whatnot that the first game kind of introduced. But like I said, I think, like, in general, I personally believe that was Treyarch's, like, prime. I think that was their peak. I think Black Ops 3 was amazing as well. But after Black Ops 3 is when we started to kind of see a little bit of a decline, in my opinion. But Black Ops 2, man, you know, through and through, it was great. You know, we had, of course, even in the campaign at the very end, we had like this crazy outro where we have like this kind of digitized performance by Avenged Sevenfold of Carry On, which I think is an amazing song, and I've always been a huge Avenged fan. So that was really, really cool to see as well. I was super stoked when that happened. And just, all the Easter egg songs. Of course, we had, Avenged had Shepherd of Fire as an Easter egg song in Origins. And then we had, of course, they had other songs as well. I think Moon had Nightmare, I believe, if I remember correctly, back in the day. So, look, it was just a great game. Overall, from the campaign to the multiplayer, and again, the maps in the multiplayer were fantastic. We had Nuketown 2025, futuristic Nuketown. The whole game was set kind of in the future 2025 era. The zombies was so good. The Easter eggs were so fun. I just loved every bit of what Black Ops 2 was. I didn't have many complaints. The only complaint I would have is, you get killed by someone better than you, and you're just like, oh man, whatever, bro. Anyways, but yeah, it was a great game. I wanted to talk about that in this video. Did this video have much of a goal except reminiscing? Maybe not, but sometimes those are the most fun videos that I have, kind of recordings, just kind of looking back on like an era and a game, and just kind of, that nostalgic factor. And I thought it was interesting to think about, like, hey man, back then we thought that was so futuristic, it's like, wow, it's way in the future. But now we've reached the year 2025 where, that game was set. And I'm curious, if you guys want to share that much, obviously, up to your discretion, but I'm curious, how has your life changed from the release of Black Ops 2 and now in 2025? I can say, God has blessed me immensely. I've gotten married, I've had kids. Obviously we started content creation. I didn't have, these channels back in 2012. I've had health issues come up. There's so much that has happened. It's unbelievable. Time does not suffice, but yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, man. Like, did you guys play Black Ops 2 back in the day? Did you play a little bit later? What are your memories? What are your favorite memories about Black Ops 2? And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and let me know down in the comment section below. Like I said in a previous video, I'd like to do more kind of, videos like this where we're just kind of on screen having conversations and stuff, even with the gaming news stuff, where it's like I share the gaming news with you guys, and then kind of, I give you kind of my thoughts and my reaction and impressions to it as well, and maybe do a little bit more kind of that. I think that's more maybe authentic and whatever. So anyways, stick around for more and let me know your what you guys think about Black Ops 2, and hopefully we can get back to that, man. I don't know if we ever will. I don't know if we ever will with COD. COD's just, I don't know, man. Especially right now with Black Ops 6, the state it's in, all the hackers, and it's a mess, but maybe one day. Maybe it's wishful thinking. But anyways, thanks for watching. Till the next one. Game on. See you guys soon. Hey you! What are you doing? Join the Skeleton Army! Do it today! Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come. The Earth is gonna fade, that's inevitable. The next second of your life's not even promised, so you better think about where you're going, and you might as well just join the Skeleton Army. Plus, we do kinda like you a little bit, so it'd be nice to see you around here. But if you don't want to, hey, your loss. See you later.